quick training, but it's quick, but it's very, very, very important. And it is the qualities of a leader. What we are trying to do, Primerica is a leadership factory. If you go into a sales organization, Abby, right, like at your job, they're not training you to be a leader. You do a specific job and they're training you how to do that. You just got to be really good at that. If you go into a sales organization, we just need you to sell. That is what we need you to do. You don't need to be a leader. The CEO is a leader, the sales manager is a leader, but you don't need to be a leader. In Primerica, not everyone is a leader, everyone can be a leader, and ideally, the more leaders you have, the more money you are going to make. But a lot of people haven't been exposed to good leaders. They haven't studied leadership. They don't know the qualities of a leader. This is what Primerica taught me, because I was the biggest follower in the world before I came into Primerica. Now, part of that helped me because I followed Shaq and Brett into this business. Who else is going to change their major after spending 3 years in something, going into something with no experience, don't understand the industry? My personality didn't fit it, but I followed them into it, right? Because I would do anything that they told me to do. That's the kind of person I was. I was just following everybody. Primerica taught me how to be a leader. So let's talk about some of these, and I'm going to be calling out some of you guys, right? So, what's number one? Leaders are, and the list could be 1,000, right? These are just 10 leaders are humble. You know who's not humble? Bosses. Yeah, you ever had a boss that was an asshole?
Yeah.
Because they feel a slight sense of arrogance for being in the position that a lot of times they were given, they didn't even earn. One thing I notice about a lot of doctors, especially when I network with them or when I meet them, they have an air about them. I don't think a lot of them are that humble. And they've been taught that, hey, you're the one who's saving the life and you're the one who's right and you got to tell them what to do. And I get it, but in our business, you have to be humble. If you're going to your job and people are talking down to you and people are arrogant and then you come here and I'm talking to you the same way, why would you come here? It's got to feel different. We have a vested interest in you doing better. If you do better, I do better. I'm not trying to hold you down. I'm trying to bring you up. But no matter how much money I make, Shaq makes, Bruce makes, no matter how much money I have saved, I can't go in and judge people based on that, right? I have to be there for people. I have to be serving them. I have to be available to people. That shows humbleness. I'm not like, why are you calling me? I pick everybody's call. I answer everybody's message. Now, I always have to get better, right? And I have to remind myself these things, but that is a great quality to have. I know on social media, and some of my own personal friends are like this, there's this persona of being an asshole. Like Mr. Wonderful and people like that, right? Like, if you're like that people like to listen to what you have to say. Back in the day with American Idol, there was Simon Cowell. He was that person. Now it's Mr. Wonderful, Shark Tank. So you have this. That is not the persona that's going to work here, man. You got to be humble. You got to be accepting. You got to lower yourself. You got to bring people up. Make sense? Let's go next. Leaders have emotional stamina. This is the big one. What do you think that means, Abby?
If you got a no out of like 10 people you approach, you just keep going.
Right? You just keep going. Who has another example of that? Esmaldo.
You're constant. You know your thing is not swinging back and down.
Exactly. Right?
Emotion.
So if I think about my emotions, now emotions, a lot of times people wear it on their sleeve. This is how you want your emotions to be. And not like that, actually, right? It's allowed to have some variance, but it's not supposed to be like this. Some people are like a car wreck. One day they're really up, one day they're really down. Sorry, this just happened. Sorry, that just happened. Sorry, I'm going through this. To be honest, no one cares about your problems. They only care about their own. Right? And this is me talking to myself. You guys don't care what I'm going through. Did I come in here every day and say, oh, my dad has dementia, I'm doing this, we're staying up all night, this is happening, that's happening? I never did that because I want to be there for you guys. I have people in my life that are going to be there for me. That's not in this room. And I've devised it that way. I've designed it that way. Because you all have stuff going on. I don't want to put more on you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if you think about your interactions with me, has there ever been a time where you're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, you don't want to know. Did I ever say that? Do I ever look down? Can I be down maybe? Can I have things going on? Did I get very little sleep? Yes to all of those things. You guys just won't know about it. Mm-hmm. That is the quality of a leader. Let's go, go, go. My eyes can be red. I can be tired. I can have things going on, right? But you got to keep going. Mm-hmm. You do not want to be up and down. People always think about this, right? If someone is describing you or a person in general, they're never going to say that in a positive light, like, don't call him right now, right? Or this is not the time, or he's really been. That's not how we talk about successful people and successful leaders. Leaders do not have any baggage. Look, everybody has baggage. I have baggage. You know? Sometimes I forget these things. I put it like so back in my mind and I tell myself it doesn't affect me. But, you know, when I say my dad, that's my stepdad. My real dad left when I was 5. He never came back. Am I like living with that trauma? I mean, I've worked on myself. I don't talk about it. I try to enjoy my life. I'm not dumping that on people. I've been divorced. It was a nasty divorce. Am I bringing that up all the time? Am I referencing it? Can you guys tell that I don't do that. I make jokes out of it. Is it a joke? No, it's not really a joke, but that's how I deal with it. But you're not going to know all of these different things in my life that are going on that are weighing me down. What does baggage mean? Like it's weighing you down. You guys have your own baggage. Why do I got to make you carry mine too? If we have an interaction, is there any way me talking about my baggage going to make you feel better after that interaction? No, it's negative. You got to think about that. After every interaction that you have with people, do they feel better or do they feel worse? So if you're that person that comes in, like if I'm talking to someone, they're like, oh, I got this, I really want to do this, I got 20 different things. Like, man, this person has a lot of baggage. They can overcome it, but chances are that they're not. So you got to get rid of the baggage. You got to move forward. That's how you are going to be a better leader. Leaders have followers. This is not your job at the restaurant. This is not your job selling software, right? You are supposed to have people following you. Oh, I don't want to recruit. Then you are automatically saying you don't want to be a leader. Leaders are the ones who get paid the most in this company. Leaders get paid the most in America. You know the 2 most common traits, we've gone away from this, but this is how it used to be. The 2 most common traits of a United States president was what, Richard? They've been in the military, and they've run a business. We look for one or the other. Think about that, Matt. Now, there's been a couple of times in recent history where they didn't have either. Right. And I'm not saying that they didn't do a bad job, but what it tells us is like military develops what? Leadership, especially if you're a high-ranking official. And we know a business owner knows how to run things, knows how to recruit, knows how to develop, and they have leadership skills. They know how to build value. Right? So if you want to actually be a leader and not just read about it, not just be around it, and not just be enamored by it, recruit some people. It'll turn you into a different person. A lot of people wouldn't come late if they had 10 people at the meeting that day. A lot of people wouldn't have missed if they had 10 people at the meeting that day. A lot of people wouldn't leave right away if they had 10 people that wanted to set appointments. It's going to force you into a different type of person. That's what people are missing out on. The evolution of themselves when they don't recruit and they're by themselves and they can just hide. Leaders do first what they ask other people to do. I have made cold calls in Primerica. I have knocked doors in Primerica. Am I telling you to knock doors? No, but if you want to do it, I can tell you how I did it. I've walked up to people I don't know. I have competed. I have won contests. I've been number one in Primerica in a contest. I was number one RVP in Primerica. I was number one recruiter in Primerica. I do these things so I can confidently tell you to do it, and I don't have to feel bad about it knowing I didn't do it. Have I broken every record in the company? No, of course not. But before we start talking about the things I haven't done, let me challenge you to do the things that I have done. You got to do, I knew there'd be a day where people would ask, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do, have you ever? Don't ask me, have I ever? The question is yes. I've been here 20 years. Nothing I haven't tried or done. So you got to be taking those risks. You got to be getting uncomfortable, right? Leaders have character and integrity. If you think about what Ismaldo was saying, he said, we always do the right thing for people. We actually believe that in Primerica. It's amazing that people can talk about our company. It's like, let me see what your company is doing to people. There are things that it's not even that morally I wouldn't do to a client and their, let's say, investment accounts or life insurance. Our compliance department wouldn't let me. Other companies' compliance departments will let you do whatever you want. They'll put someone in an annuity, right? Make them pay a surrender charge after 1-2 years and then make money on that person again. 2 years. We could never do that. The company looks out for the clients. But you got to have character and integrity, because when people spend a lot of time with you, you know, she's been with me for 10 years. He's been with me for 9-10 years. You've been with me for 20 years. If I'm out here screwing people, cheating people, I'm putting my money in other people's pocket, they're not going to stay. You got to do the best thing for that person all the time. You got to be honest, because people, Andre, won't remember the 20 amazing things you did. They'll remember the one time you screwed them. And when people try to screw me, right, and I know that I'm on the receiving end of getting screwed in a transaction, whether it's you guys or someone in the outside world, I'll take that L. I'll just remember it. I've been screwed before. And it's okay. You're going to get me once, you're not going to get me again, and we're not going to do business anymore. And that could be people in here, or it could be people outside. But this one is absolutely huge, man, because leadership is built on trust. Leaders are always positive. That's how you got to be. Because what's the upside in being negative? Right? Positive attracts, negative repels. Not every thought, this is what I've learned as I gotten older, not every thought needs to be said, not every emotion needs to be expressed. There's those people, man, they just can't help it. I gotta talk about it. I gotta tell what happened. Right? Yeah. No, keep it inside. Go tell someone else. Do what you need to do. You have to have that type of restraint. Find the good in things. I promise it'll help you. All the studies say, happier people, people that live longer, people that attract better things in their life, they're optimistic. They are positive. People find the silver lining in anything. That's the kind of person you want to be. I'm not saying that you're going to be like that, just flip it, but you can work on it. The real job of a leader is to instill higher expectations in people. I talk to some of my clients who are elite salespeople, and they say, yeah, I have a business coach. Really? What does he do? And really what it's come down to when I ask them what they pay these people to do is they have a meeting with them, and they say, well, I think I can do 20 million of volume. And they say, no, I think you can do 40 million of volume. That's it. Right? That the person went in thinking they could do X, and the business coach is like, no, you can do 2X. People are paying people to think like this. Because when someone believes in you more than you believe in yourself, when you tell someone you can do even more than what you think, it's life-changing for people. Most people have low self-esteem, low expectations out of themselves and out of life. They believe other people can do things, but when they look at themselves, they don't believe that they can do it. This is a huge thing that Primerica worked on me. It raised my expectations in people and in events, in my abilities, right? And then I give that gift to the next person. That's why it's amazing to be a top producer, because if you think about a Sheila, she's not here right now. Last night she got paid $7,000 and her income is at $19,000 for the month. And like I said, Primerica still has 9 days left in the pay cycle. Now if she hires someone and they say, hey, can I make 10 grand a month here? She's like, that's easy. Imagine that. Imagine the expectation she can put into someone because of what she's done. That's the gift when you're a winner, when you're a producer, what you can give to somebody. Right. Leaders are not concerned with being liked by all. Hey, look, if you're running for president, even if you win, literally what percent of the country hates you and what percent of the country likes you? What are those numbers?
50%.
It's 50-50 now. I mean, there's 330 million people. Half of them are literally going to hate you. You go to a company, you're the CEO. Most people are going to hate you. Oh, this person doesn't do anything. They're making so much money. Look how much they're making. Look how much I'm making. Look what this company's doing, right? You cannot be in a leadership position and be liked by all. You could be LeBron. What an amazing career, 20 years, all the amazing things he's done. How many people hate him online? A lot. Where is this thing where you're going to accomplish so much and everyone's going to say, Abby, we all love you? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you have to understand that I got to do what I got to do to be respected, not necessarily liked. Now, a lot of people will like you too. You just can't be 100% liked. And leaders overcome their fears. Look, man, for me, like, everything in Primerica has been a struggle. Getting in front of the room, talking to people, presenting, meeting people that I didn't know. All of these things were very difficult for me because of the type of person that I came in as. But I had the butterflies in my stomach, and I did it anyways. I had the anxiety, right? I did it anyways. You got to do that, man. You got to, there's a book. This is a literal title. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's a book. Feel the fear, and I think that's comforting for people when I say that, because I think there's this idea that some people are just natural at everything and everything's easy for them. It's not like that, man. There's a lot of quiet people, a lot of introverts that are winning at this business and in life. And they feel that fear and they still go out and do it. And this is how we have to be, and we have to develop people to understand these things, and hopefully that was helpful. All right, any announcements? Anything else that we can talk about?